the other book that I read. Literally so good, a ton of fun and intrigue. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I am starting a new vlog. It is Monday, I believe September 26th. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. And I'm currently reading Lessons in Chemistry by Garmus. I believe I am 30 or 40% of the way through with that, and I only have 2 days left to finish it according to my library's loan policy. And there are so many people waiting behind me, I can't just renew it, so I really have to finish that soon. That is priority number one this week for this vlog. There's really no reason I'm putting it off and not really reading it, and I only have 2 days left after my 14-day loan, and I'm only 30% of the way through. I think it's really well written, and I like it sometimes, but also sometimes I really hate it, because it's really, really frustrating. It is really hard to read because there's so much sexism and so much just everything. It's just like she's had such a hard life and a hard go at things, and it's just one thing after another, after another, after another. And there's a scene at the beginning where a man abuses her. He does a lot of things that I don't think I'm allowed to talk about on YouTube. And that was really, really, really difficult to read. I really have issues with books that contain graphic scenes like that. I mean, it was not that long or that graphic, but I mean, even if it's just a mention, it's difficult for me. It just makes me so frustrated. Like every single second I'm reading this book, like my hands are balled up in fists and I'm just so angry. My heart rate is elevated. My blood pressure is up. I want to throw the book at a wall. Like I just can't relax when I'm reading it. And that's kind of why I read books, to relax. It's a nice hobby that I have. It makes me happy. It brings me joy. And this book is not bringing me joy, and it's not relaxing me. It's really frustrating and enraging me. But like I said, I think it's really well written. And I also think that's kind of the point. It's, supposed to make you angry that women in STEM have been, especially in the past, treated so horrifically. And even in the present, it's better, but it's not solved. There's still issues nowadays. And so it's just like, my gosh, it's hard. Like, it's really, really frustrating. So I don't know. I just really want to finish it. I'm honestly reading it at like 2 times the speed right now, or listening to it, on 2 times the speed, because I just have to get through it at this point in time. And it's not a book that I really want to reach for. Like if I think, okay, I have some free time right now, I want to read, I'm not like, let me pull out Lessons in Chemistry. Like that's the last book that I'm thinking of in these situations. I really have to force myself to read it. And once I'm listening to it, not reading it because it's an audiobook, but once I'm listening to it, I do enjoy it. But like I said, it's just so hard. So I have no idea what I'm going to rate that book. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be a surprise to you and to me what I rated at the end and what my final thoughts are. Hopefully my next update is just going to be, I finished it magically 70% in like one day and it wasn't bad and I didn't throw my book at a wall or break something. Like it's just so hard. Yeah. Anyways, I will see you in my next update. Bye. Hi, quick update here. Today is Wednesday. I am joined by my boy Fish, who is taking a nap in the sunlight. Oh my goodness, so cute. And I kind of really only am here to talk about Lessons in Chemistry because that's all that I've done lately. I've not been reading physical books or anything. I just have been listening to Lessons in Chemistry, desperately trying to finish it. As of right now, I only have until the end of today. So as mentioned, today is Wednesday and I've got to finish it before I go to sleep. I am 62% finished with it, I think, give or take a few percentages. I have resorted to listening to it on 2 times the speed because I feel like I have no other choice. I'm just trying to get through it. I am enjoying it, and I'm enjoying it now actually a lot more. I feel like in the past 10 to perhaps 20%, it started to get genuinely really good because it's that good writing that I talked about before, along with the good just overall plotline and idea and everything. And it's less of the just really frustrating, annoying, sexist scenes and just everything that was so frustrating to get through in the first section of the book. I want to say honestly, like the first 30-40% or so, maybe even more. Everything in that beginning little bit of the book is much less now. And so it's much easier to get through. I don't want to punch a person in the face every single new character we meet. It's more like she's actually coming into her own, Elizabeth Zott, the main protagonist, and she's finding people who support her and people who genuinely like her for once in her life, which is so sad. So it's finally starting to just not be such a drag and be so difficult to read. And it's definitely improving just a lot in that regard, and also in the general overall plotline. I feel like it's becoming stronger and it's becoming more apparent. I feel like the first 30% was kind of just a background to help you get to know Elizabeth Zott and the situation that she's in and everything, and kind of set up for the rest of the book. And that's honestly quite a long time for me to not feel like the plot is that strong or not really know like what the book is going to be about. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. Like, this book is one of those books where I feel like the plot is not something that's really tangible. Like, it's not like they're trying to save a planet. They're trying to find a treasure, an artifact or something. They're going on a journey and there's a specific destination. They have to throw the ring into Mordor or whatever, you know? It's not like that, where it's really specific. It's like information, like tangible information, tangible journeys and goals that people have. And I really like reading books like that. I don't know why. I enjoy it a lot more. I feel like my reading has more of a purpose. And with lessons in chemistry, I'm not saying that my reading has no purpose or anything. I'm just saying it feels a little bit more like, almost like it's time wasted, which it's not, because it's reading, and reading is never time wasted, and it's always beneficial, especially this book, because it's really intelligently written. And so I do feel like I'm learning from it and I'm taking things away from it, so it's not wasted. But it feels almost like it is, because I don't see anything that has to happen. Like, I don't see any tangible goal. I don't see any physical thing that is supposed to be achieved by the end of this book. It's kind of just a section of Elizabeth Zott's life. And that's also a big reason why I don't really like coming of age novels in general. I'm not the biggest fan of contemporary novels also in general, because I feel like those books tend to have this more intangible, abstract kind of plot and this abstract kind of goal. And I just don't really like that much. I like it when there's a specific destination or a specific goal, a specific achievement that the protagonist has to do. And that's what's driving the book, and that's what's happening. So I guess actually what it is maybe is I like plot-driven books more than I like character-driven books. Maybe that's what that is. I don't know. It's just strange to me reading this book and kind of not really knowing how it's gonna end or where it's gonna end or when it's gonna end, because I don't really know what we're heading towards in this book. I don't know. Like, I just feel like with most books, you know roughly how it's gonna end, and you know roughly when it's gonna end, and you know why it's gonna end, because there's a specific thing that has to be accomplished. And in this book, there's none of that. I'm along for the ride, and I have no idea what the final 40% roughly is gonna be like. So I don't know, we'll see. As I said, I'm along for the ride, so I will update you later on, but at the very least, it's easier to read. I'm not so frustrated. It's still really frustrating because it's just like every chapter there's at least one scene, one person, one conversation that's really infuriating, and it's so sexist, and it's just so annoying, so frustrating. I have said the word frustrating like a million times about this book. Like if I put a compilation together, it'd be like 45 minutes long of me just saying the word infuriating and frustrating and angry over and over and over again. But truly, that's just how this book makes me feel. I do enjoy it, as I've said, but it still makes me feel all these negative feelings also. So we'll see how I feel about the rest. We'll see when I can finish it. As I mentioned, really, it's crunch time. I have to do so much today, and I have to do it while I'm listening to this book on the side because I have no other option. I have to finish it by tonight, or else I then have to get back in line, and there's like 6 people waiting in line behind me, so that's gonna take forever. Yeah, but on the other side of things, on a little bit of a happier, not at all frustrating note, I recently picked my October TBR prompt polls. So those are 6 books that are slightly or extremely spooky season coded, I guess you could say. And I'm just going to pick from them in October. I might get to all of them. I might get to only one of them. Who knows? We'll see. I'm kind of just being very relaxed with it this next month instead of my usual kind of stricter approach, because I really don't like my strict approach. So for those 6 books, I just wanted to see what the wait times were going to be at my library, give or take. And I was shocked, but Stalking Jack the Ripper was available immediately. So I borrowed it now, even though we're at the end of September. We're not even in October yet. But I just thought they have 2 copies and neither copy is being borrowed right now. So I'm just going to borrow it, and I'm sure I'll be able to renew my borrow and extend it on another 14 days if I can't get to it within these 14 days. And in addition, Welcome to Night Vale was also at my library with nobody. It also had 2 copies, nobody waiting in line. So I decided to do the same thing. And then also Married to a Pirate, that also was available at my library. Just 1 copy, but nobody was reading that also, so I borrowed it. And for Mexican Gothic, there were people waiting in line, but luckily my library has so many copies. I think it was like 6, which is a lot, honestly. But also, this is a pretty popular book and it won a ton of awards, so I'm not that surprised. So it said that I have to wait roughly 4 weeks, which is not too bad. That would still have me getting it before October. And I tend to find that I get books a little bit earlier than they say on my library. I feel like people are reading them really quickly and then they're returning them early, which I'm so happy that people do that. Please, like, if you have read a book at the library and you're finished with it, please return it immediately. It drives me so crazy when people hold on to it and they just let the library automatically take it back after the 14 days, even when they're finished. And luckily, I feel like not that many people at my library do that, because I do feel like people give them back pretty quickly sometimes. And I'm kind of hoping that's gonna happen with Mexican Gothic. And honestly, based on my past history, I think it probably will. And then the other books, I can't really find Kitten Tits anywhere. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to see about that. I did find it in my library's catalog. It's not at my library, but it's in the catalog where you can request it. So I did request it. And then also The Deep is not in my library, but again, it was in my catalog, so I did request that. But I was able to find The Deep on some other subscription services, so I might give one of those a free trial just to listen to it or to read it. We will see if I can find it anywhere else for free. I mean, a free trial is free, but you have to put in all your information and it's just annoying. And I'd rather not do it unless I absolutely have to, but I really do want to read that book. And so we'll just see about that. And then that is all 6 of the books for October. So really there's only 2 books that are even in the slightest causing me trouble, and it's barely causing me any trouble at all. So hopefully my next update will be a good one. But also this is going to be a little bit of a shorter vlog because my friend is visiting. We were friends in middle school, like hardcore, like absolute best friends, bestest of friends. when we were like 12, 13 or so, give or take. And then I switched schools and I was in a completely different city, and we kind of just lost contact with each other. And we've not seen each other physically in real life since we were 13 years old, or maybe 14 years old, I think. Either way, it's been over 10 years. It's been like 14 years, give or take, which is such a long time. Makes me feel so old. Like, I cannot even explain to you how old I feel when I think about how long it's been since I've seen some of my old friends. And she just randomly decided to attend a meditation retreat in France. And she texted me and said, hey, it would be great to see you. Do you have any free time? And of course I said, yeah, absolutely. I will carve out some free time for you. You can come stay here with me and my husband. And so now she's coming and she's going to stay with us for a week. And she's arriving Friday or Saturday. We're not really sure. So at that point in time, once she's here, I think I just want to be present. And so I'm going to end my vlog before she arrives, which probably is going to be Friday, which is in only 2 days. We'll see what I can achieve in the next 2 days, but this might be a really short vlog. I will get back to my normal types of vlogs and everything with more days and hopefully more reading and whatnot after Nikayla, my friend, leaves. So yeah, I will see you in my next update. Fingers crossed that I can finish lessons in chemistry soon today. Hi, so it's just a little bit after I filmed that update for you. And as I mentioned, priority number 1, lessons in chemistry. I really have to be reading it. Am I doing that right now? No. Am I starting Married to a Pirate by Athena Rose? Yes. Am I 3% finished with Married to a Pirate so far? Yes. Am I enjoying it? I don't know. To be determined. I honestly think that the title especially and the series name, Romancing the Seas and everything, it just really screams secondhand embarrassment and cringe to me. So I'm a little worried that it's going to be too cheesy and I'm not going to enjoy it. However, I'm still going to read it anyways because I will literally read any piece of pirate literature. I do not care how cheesy I think it's going to be. I don't care about anything. If it's got pirates in it, I'm reading it. And so I'm going to finish this book and I'm going to like it. That's what it sounds like. Literally like what my parents used to say to me, like, you're going to finish that meal and you're going to enjoy it. And I never did. So maybe that's a bad sign.
it up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Conversations always end up in a nosedive. Can't see it ending any differently this time around, round. Yeah. Let's take a second and make sure we're on the right track before we say something that we both know we can't take back. Staying up till late, but we're still where we started. Same things, the same things. Yeah, how do you feel today? We're just making it harder. Same things, the same things. We don't need to talk about it. There's nothing left for us to say. So many thoughts around us. All these words are always in our way. So if you just keep me close, lead the way, take it slow, then maybe I'll get us both what we want. We don't need to talk about it. We don't need to talk about it. Yeah, we're at the point where we're supposed to say we're sorry, but it feels like we're only talking to ourselves right now. Yeah. Staying up till late, but we're still where we started. Same things, the same things. Yeah. How do you feel? We're just making it harder. Same things, the same things. We don't need to talk about nothing left for us to say. Too many thoughts around us. All these words are always in our way. So if you just keep me close, lead the way, take it slow, then maybe I'll get us both what we want. We don't need to talk about it. We don't need to talk about it.
So it is October 9th, and obviously, as you already saw, I did not update you before my friend arrived. She ended up arriving several days earlier than anticipated and staying a little bit longer than anticipated, which was totally fun, and I had a great time. As you can see from the clips that you've already watched by now, we had a really great time. We did a ton of stuff. We went to Oktoberfest, even though neither of us drink any beer, and that's like really the main thing you do at Oktoberfest, or you know, pay out an arm and a leg to go on roller coaster rides and whatnot, which we did. We went on one roller coaster ride and we played a couple of games. But little tip, if any of you ever go to Oktoberfest, check out, it only happens, I believe, every other year. It's called Old Oktoberfest. And I believe the name, like the official name, is in Bavarian, and I'm gonna pronounce it wrong, so I apologize in advance, but it's Oide Wiesn, I think. And even though I live in Bavaria, I don't speak Bavarian. My husband is not a real Bavarian. His father comes from northern Germany, and he was not raised on Bavarian. He barely speaks it. I know how to say squirrel tail in Bavarian, like everyone else living in Bavaria, but I don't know much else, you know. I guess I do say some things like hello and whatever, but I don't know how to speak Bavarian, and the Old Oktoberfest has so many Bavarian words, and it was tons of fun. I actually took a quiz. I will have included it already, actually, so you will have seen it, but it's like a Bavarian quiz to see how you did, and I got 12 out of 24. Pretty proud of myself. I feel like for a person who was not born or raised in Germany at all, and not in Bavaria especially, then I feel like 12 out of 24 is not too bad. The guy was really disappointed in me, but I was proud of myself, so that's all that matters. But point is, we did a lot, and we got a lot done, and I did not update you before, but I will update you now. I did definitely have at least a little bit of time to read. And so, well, for starters, the disappointment of the week, Lessons in Chemistry was indeed returned without me finishing it. And I kind of knew that was going to happen. I just really was not enjoying it to the point of wanting to finish it so hard and working really hard to finish it. So that was unfortunate, but also, honestly, I'm kind of glad to have a break from it. I have put it again into my holds, and now I have to wait like 3 months to finish it, which really sucks. But I'm gonna see if maybe I can find it somewhere else. Also, it was 3 months as of like 2 weeks ago or whatever, so it's even less now. But it's definitely gonna be a while before I can finish that book. And like I said, I'm not really complaining. It just was a really hard read, and I'm happy to take a break from it and read some fantasy and some fun books and some happy books and books that don't make me want to throw my Kindle at the wall. And unfortunately, that was not the read that I read while Nikayla was here. I ended up reading Romancing the Seas, book number 1, Married to a Pirate. And I had mentioned to you that the title was really embarrassing to me in a way. Like, it's really cringy. It's just really cliche, like the whole title, the series title, the book title, everything. Also the name Athena Rose, when my friend Nikayla asked me what I was reading, which by the way, she was reading Braiding Sweetgrass. She was like on a whole other level. Like she was reading beautifully written poetry and nonfiction books and everything. And I'm sitting here reading Married to a Pirate. And then when she asked me to explain what I was reading, and I told her, and then I told her that the author's name was Athena Rose, she says, that sounds, I don't even know if I can say this one. She was like, that sounds like a P star name, as in corn, but not corn. And she says, this book sounds extremely explicit. And then she really got me worried because I didn't think that it was. I don't know, for some reason I thought it was young adult and that it wasn't going to have any spicy scenes really. And it definitely did, but it actually was not that spicy. I will say I got really afraid when Nikayla mentioned the name. It did kind of give me dark romance, spicy book kind of vibes, but that's not what the book was. But did I like the book? Not really, no. I think there were parts of the book that I enjoyed, and I'll talk about this more in depth on my monthly recap, so I'm not going to get super into it right now, but I will just say it was very cheesy and very cliched, and the dialogue was not super great, and the choices that the characters made were questionable at best and just the worst possible choice ever at worst. And there were also so many plot twists, but like really weirdly done. It's hard to explain, but it would be like a plot twist that you already knew was coming, but then it would be revealed to somebody who did not read the book with us. Like they didn't read all the hints, so it should be shocking to them. And then that person would just be like, oh, wow, okay, and then just move on with their lives, and that was it. Like that was the biggest reaction from a character in this book when something huge and literally life-changing was revealed. That's the weirdest thing ever to me. I don't know, that particularly really put me off of the book, and it really bothered me because I just don't understand why. I don't understand why the author wrote it like that. I don't understand why she thought that that was a good idea. I don't know why she thought that, I don't know anything. I don't understand why it was in there. I don't understand why it happened so many times in this book. She just should have made a bigger deal of it, I think, especially some of them. Like I said, there were some that really truly were shocking, life-changing kinds of reveals, and the most you get was just, oh, or maybe wow. And it just was so weird. I just really hated that part of that book. And just in general, I don't know, I just wasn't really feeling the book that much. I never really connected to the characters, and I think that the idea and the atmosphere were nice, but it just wasn't that good. The only reason I continued reading it and did not DNF it in like the first 25% was purely because it's a book about pirates, and I will do anything for a book about pirates. I cannot get enough of pirate fiction. I cannot get enough of books about adventures on the high seas. Like I just eat it up every single time. And even though I did not like this book, I read it so quickly because I just enjoy reading about pirates, and I just kept hoping that it would be better. And I just had my fingers crossed the whole time, and then the book ended and I did not enjoy it more. So I don't think I'm going to be continuing with that series. Yeah. Then the only other thing that I kind of started to read while Nikayla was here, but mostly afterwards, but I have to include it because I have to talk about it because I loved it. I rated it 5 stars. I think Married to a Pirate, I can't remember. I think maybe I rated it 2.5 and rounded down to 2. But the other book that I read, literally so good. It was one of the best books I've read in a while. Was it perfect? No. Was it super cheesy sometimes? Yes. Was the relationship super toxic? Yeah, absolutely. Was it a little bit too spicy for me? Yeah, definitely. I think actually very spicy. extremely spicy for me personally. I don't think you could probably compare it to Sarah J. Maas, for example. So I'm sure some people are probably laughing if they have heard of this book and I'm calling it super spicy. But it was Bewitched by, I'm gonna mispronounce her name and I apologize in advance, Laura Thalassa. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but I had never read anything from her before. I'd never even heard of her before, but on October 3rd, I believe, there was one of the Stuff Your Kindle events, which, by the way, if you've not heard of that, check my channel, like on the communities tab. I wrote a little blurb announcing that it was starting just so that everyone would know in case you've not heard of it. And then I linked 2 articles that link to a ton of Stuff Your Kindle events online, and it's basically where you can get free ebooks for your Kindle. Like, you can purchase it on Amazon for free for 0 cents, and I think probably I've got 20, if not even 25 more books on my Kindle because of this event, and one of those books was Bewitched. I was very uncertain when I heard about it. I'll put the description on the screen so you can read about it. It immediately struck me as something that I think would be super interesting and something that I would like, but I just also wasn't sure. I don't tend to read books about witches. I don't know, it's just not really my vibe. I usually don't really get into those types of books, but this one, I don't even know. It was like the first or second chapter, I was already so into it. I was like so deep in it. I just loved it. I was eating it up. It was so good. I feel like her writing style at first was a little weird to me because it's very kind of modern. Like, she will use some slang terms that are modern and curse words that are more modern. But once I got past it, and I don't think it was that hard to get past it in this book, because this book doesn't take place in the past. It's not historical fantasy or anything like that. It's definitely a very modern fantasy, which also I usually don't enjoy, but I really did in this book. But because it was so modern, it's very clearly taking place in, you know, the 2020s. Because of that, it was really easy for me to get past the use of some questionable slang and curse words. And then I actually kind of even enjoyed it because it was few and far between. It wasn't like she was saying BT dubs or anything like that. That's not even 2020 slang. That's like early 2000s slang. But it wasn't like it was anything like that. It wasn't where I was getting secondhand embarrassment because of the choice of words. It was more just like, I'll put one of my favorite quotes from the book. It is filled with curse words, so avert your eyes if you don't want to see that. But this made me literally laugh out loud when I read it. And it's like that kind of humor, that kind of vocabulary every once in a while. Again, not all the time. And I feel like it was the perfect amount where it would kind of take me by surprise and make me laugh when I read it, but it wasn't so often that it was, I don't know, excruciating to read or cringy or whatever. I really enjoyed it. Again, the romance was super toxic. Like, Memnon, the male main protagonist, was, I mean, I don't even know if you could call him a protagonist, but the male main character, I'll just say that, the MMC, he was one of the most toxic male main characters I've read in a very, very long time. And like 1% of me is ashamed to say this, but the other 99% of me is so obsessed with him, I don't even care. Like, I loved him despite him being so incredibly toxic. I loved him so much. I loved their relationship. I loved the book, the plot line, where everything went. I loved how it ended for the most part. It was a little bit of an annoying end, and not necessarily where I would have liked to have seen it go, but I did enjoy it despite that, and I did enjoy just the road that they took to get to the end. I just loved it. I loved all of it. And I think that the idea of somebody who is a magic user, but they can't use magic without the magic eating away at their memories, is a really fun plotline and a really creative plotline, and I feel like it makes you feel more connected to the character and it makes it feel more high stakes, I guess. It just feels like the story is more interesting and more maybe important. I don't know, that's not the right word, but just more, I don't know, more something than other books that I've read where magic users can just use as much magic as they want and there's no consequences. I just like it when there's a consequence, and not only a consequence, but such a huge consequence as your memories literally being stolen from you. I don't know, it just made the whole book so much more tense and intriguing and exciting, because when something would go wrong, when there would be an attack, and then she would have to decide, is it worth it to save these people at the loss of my memories? And every time she said yes, because she's a good person. But it's just, yeah, it just added like an extra layer of a ton of fun and intrigue, I think. For that reason, and for like a million other reasons, I just really enjoyed the book, and I ended up giving it 5 stars. I will say, I kind of was going back and forth on if it's 4.5 rounded up to 5, or if it just truly is a 5-star rating for me. And I'm still not really sure, honestly. It's been like maybe 5 days since I finished the book, and I still don't know. I feel like because I'm so torn between it, I should just have it be an even 5 stars, because it deserves it probably, if it's causing me so much inner turmoil trying to decide if it deserves it or not. I feel like I should just give it to it then. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I will talk more about it on my monthly review, a little bit more at least. I already talked about it quite a bit, but I just really enjoyed it. And you can bet your bottom dollar that I definitely already got the second one, and I already started reading it last night. So forget all the other like 20-30 books that I got from this Stuff Your Kindle day, and also forget the other books from my October TBR prompt poll, all 6 of them that I have. Well, I guess technically 5 now, because I did finish Married to a Pirate. But, you know, forget those ones, and forget the other books that I was reading, forget Lessons in Chemistry, forget everything else. I just want to eat the series up right now. I just love it so much. And it's not finished yet, which really sucks. It's going to be a trilogy, and she's not written the 3rd one yet. There's not even an estimated date of when it's going to come out. She's first putting out like a little, I don't know if it's going to be a novella. I think it's going to be a full-size novel actually, but it's a prequel of Memnon in his past, which I'm also super excited for, but I wish you would put it out afterwards, because I just want to read the 3rd book immediately, and I don't want to have to wait for this other book, this prequel, to come out, and then have to wait for her to finish the 3rd book and then have that come out and everything. I want to read it now. I kind of regret not checking first before I started reading it. I would have saved it until next year maybe, if I would have known. But I didn't know, and I didn't think I would like it so much. I just thought I'll just read something for fun right now, and I picked that one randomly, and now I'm obsessed. So yeah. Anyways, that is everything. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you have an amazing day. I hope you also had an amazing reading week and also found some books that you are equally as obsessed with as I am with Bewitched. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.